Welcome to another edition of the SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum, a fast-acting alternative to energy drinks, 5 times faster without filling up on liquids. I'm Jeremy Elliott. I'm joined once again by Ryan Hand, and no Bill McIntyre today.
Things should go smoothly.
They will. We have a different producer. She's already angry.
Yep, you did well.
Well,
you have that tendency.
I have that effect on people. But
mostly
no Bill today.
No.
I miss him already. You're waffling on that?
There's goods and bads with Bill. Mostly goods, Bill.
Mostly. Yeah. But you should be ecstatic this week. The Washington Redskins are no longer winless.
I don't even have a comparison for what happened there because, okay, they fire their coach and they win the next game, but it wasn't like they played the Patriots again.
No, it's still a shit show.
Yeah. So, okay.
But they're not the worst team because Dallas lost to the Jets.
Yes, and they were 0-6.
0-5.
0-5.
Dallas is an embarrassment. It made my top 50 this week as a Dallas fan. Jason Garrett, out of there.
No, I love the Dallas fans that love Jason Garrett. I said, keep him there as long as you can, please. Because he's definitely holding the team back, so just leave him there.
Just leave him there.
You need Jason Garrett.
Right.
Zach Newland really likes the Cowboys, and I sent him a text that said, Jets, Jets. And I said, please keep Garrett as long as possible.
Well, John Westbrook should be happy, and I was happy with John and his Minnesota Vikings for beating the Eagles. That helped out.
Washington's only 2 games out, man.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah,
anybody who thinks the NFC East is a good division this year, idiots. Actually, the best division might be the NFC Central with Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago.
If you say so, yeah.
And the other one's the NFC West, which is Seattle, the Niners, Rams, and I'll tell you what, Kyler Murray looked really good for the Cardinals.
Wasn't there some races this week?
Yes, we were going to talk some racing. Thanks for
I'm just...
You're here to reel me in.
I'm lost on the football at that point now.
Okay. Well, what wasn't lost was Chase Dietz this weekend at Baps Motor Speedway.
Yep.
You were able to watch that. Earns his 2nd win of the season. His first came back in April at Lincoln, so he started this season on a high, and now he kind of ends the season. He's got another race at Baps in November, but a good way to end. He looked really good. I think coming into the event, we knew Lance DeWeese and Danny Dietrich weren't going to be there, so I was going to open some things up, but still, you had Anthony Macri, you had Ryan Smith, Brian Monteith, Freddie Raymer, and I think they were probably the favorites. You didn't expect Chase Dietz to win, but Dietz got it done.
No, watching the race, I felt like early, Freddie looked pretty good, and then Monteith started to come pretty hard on him, and I was like, man, Monteith's got this, and I had picked Monteith, so I'm like, this is going to be good. And then all of a sudden, here comes Chase Dietz, and I mean, his wing was like out over the tail tank. I'm like, uh-oh. He was the first one to get his wing back.
Correct.
And he started trucking.
Yes.
And he could get off the bottom of 4 and just roll down the front straightaway. And he was like, I can't believe guys didn't look at it and go, holy cow, his wing's all the way back. I got to try it. Because no one else seemed to get their wing back.
In all fairness, it was Freddie Raymer's race. He got to the front. First lap went from 4th to 1st.
Yeah, he had an awesome first lap.
And looked really good. He misjudged the turn 1 and slapped the fence, and it was over. And he just said he made a mistake.
Yeah, it honestly, like watching on video, it looked like he was feeling maybe Monteith coming.
Yeah.
And he looked like he just like overdrove it or drove it in deeper than he had before in turn 1. And he just got caught in the cushion, and it just tripped him up, and it was over.
It was over. But Chase Dietz hounded Monteith on the restart and got to the front.
Yep.
And then Monteith, I forget who I had.
You had...
Who did I have?
Oh,
I had Brock.
Yeah, because we were 3rd and 4th. Yeah.
Yep. Brock was running.
Ryan Smith ended up 2nd.
Yep. Ryan Smith came on, got 2nd. Brock was running Ryan Linder's car.
Yep.
And I think that's going to happen again this week.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. And
I think I did hear two races for sure he was going to run in it.
Correct. And Brock was running the 360, was running his own car for the 360. In the 360 race, Chad Layton did a great job beating Ryan Smith and beating Freddie Raymer to get the win. So a 360 regular wins with some 410 guys in the field.
Yeah, he had a couple really good restarts. He was running 2nd, got a good restart, then had the lead, and then Ryan beat him on that restart, and then there was another restart with Ryan in the lead, and he beat Ryan. So maybe you didn't want to be first on the restarts.
No, I couldn't believe Ryan gave him the inside. I thought that was sketchy.
I think the outside had won every restart, but honestly, as it goes, it seems like it gets dirtier, and you can't do the top anymore. And I was shocked more guys didn't slow down and run the bottom of 3 and 4, especially after I watched the 410 race. I'm like, okay, put your wing in the trunk and run the bottom of 3 and 4, and you'll be fine.
I'm still starting.
Took a while to see anybody do it.
I'm still starting on the bottom until I get into the corner, then get to the cushion and circle. But it is what it is.
No, Leighton did a good job. I thought he was a little maybe impatient early. He overdrove it. It looked like some early. But late he was good, and Freddie started coming on there late too. So
racing was good.
Was good. Yeah, they had a lot of cars.
And oh, by the way, 40 cars.
Wow.
So
where are all them cars on a Saturday night?
Well, hey, they all had 5x5 wings. No motors blew up. All I'm saying is this wing thing. After last week's meeting,
I don't know where you're going with this,
which was a shit show. I heard. I think this is going to end up 5x5s everywhere. It could, because
it can't be that easy.
Well, it just seems now people have flip flopped, and I'm like, this goes back to drivers being drivers. That's all I can say. Just drivers being drivers. But we got an interesting show. We're going to trek through some other results. And you have an interesting. You came up with our segment 3 topic, and I'm anxious to get. I might just skip the rest of segment 1, go right to segment 3. But Christopher Bell beats the World of Outlaws at Tri-State Speedway. Not a surprise. That car is fast.
It was a little surprise for me because I felt like I wasn't sure where they were going to be with their own car.
Fast.
Yeah, obviously fast, but you cannot take anything away from Christopher Bell. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, once he figured out where he needed to go, Brad really didn't have a chance. It was over. And that track, it looks like it changes a lot. Like it looks like
there's wood chips in it.
Really?
There's wood chips in it. I'm not kidding.
I mean, I think the worst the track is all night is for time trials. Probably it's about the slick as it gets.
Right.
And then they redo it for the heats, and then they redo it again for the feature.
It just holds.
And but it changes like the lanes change because it gets run in and it gets But yeah, Christopher Bell was pretty good.
He was on the money.
Yeah.
It was his 5th career World of Outlaws win, first of the season, and so many storylines came out of that. I mean, Brad Sweet dropped to 5th. Donnie Schatz had the worst race I've ever seen him have.
And he was set up to do
really well. He timed
at
second
Hofstadt.
overall.
Yeah, he timed second. He won his heat, and I don't know if you saw, but they called him for a jump start on the heat. They put him back to 3rd, and I swear that he started 3rd, and he had the lead quicker than he did on the original start, and they let that one go. I'm like, are you kidding? But no, I thought, man, I had picked Donnie, and I'm like, this is going to be good. He's going to get his first win at Hofstadt, and then I didn't watch the rest of it until the feature, and I'm like, and I didn't even catch the beginning of the feature, and I'm like,
so you're like,
what happened to Donnie?
What happened? He's
where did
19.
Donnie go? And then I was like, oh, man. And then Gravel was in that first wreck too, so I'm like, okay, at least Elliott's guy was in the wreck.
Of course, because that's how it works. Yeah. But
I think a guy who had a really good night was Little Hod.
No, wait, we'll get to him in a minute.
Oh, okay.
The points now are 30 because Brad backed it up to 5th then.
Yeah, he saved Donnie.
He did save
saved
Donnie. I still, I got a text.
It's not over.
I got a text from Colton, and Colton goes, point title over, because at that point Brad was leading.
Yeah,
and Donnie was at 19th, but they had some shitters in the field. And, and he got up.
He got 13th. Back. He was right to 11th right away. And then he got another one.
And then he got 13th. And I'm like, okay, this is only 30 points.
Yeah,
it's not over.
No, it's not.
It's a lot of race. And
it's not over.
And Sheldon was in the work area, tagged the rear, and got back up to 2nd. And some people say he's the fastest car at the end.
We couldn't see. They didn't show a whole lot of Christopher Bell at the end,
right?
Because he was so far ahead. But Little Hod did. I mean, he was
on it.
He was rolling. The car was really good. That's one of his. That looked like
his
style,
wheelhouse, but
Absolutely.
it's hit or miss. I mean, he'll spin out one week, and then the next week he looks like Steve Kinzer. I mean, it's just the way it is.
A lot of good stuff going in the work area too. Like there's a lot of help from other teams.
Yeah, a lot of help from other teams. I think that's
pretty cool.
It is. No, but
I guess I'd be a real ass if I was there, because I'd be like,
no, I'll take the point lead. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. But whatever.
You. Skylar G won the Bob Hampshire Classic at Waynesfield. Christopher Bell was leading this event the night before. It was Saturday, and spun through the infield and dropped back to 10th.
He did what?
He spun out or something, and fell back to 10th.
Wow.
And Cap Henry took the lead. And then Skylar G ended up getting Cap Henry on a lap 32 restart. Wins his second 410 race of the year. He also won at Lincoln earlier this year, beating the All-Stars. Well documented. Christopher Bell did get back up top 5. But it was Christopher Bell's race, and just a mistake. Could have been a big weekend for him.
Is Skylar G maybe one of the, this is his first year he ran 410s, correct?
Full time.
Yeah.
I mean, he's taken some lumps, but I think there's something there.
It seems like, I don't know exactly when Rob Hart came on board there, but Rob Hart's working on the car.
Right.
And it seems like somewhere, I think you could draw a line in the sand and kind of figure out when he came on board, because they've been a lot more competitive. They won 2 races.
Yeah.
And they've been a lot more competitive since Rob came on board, and that's good for him.
I just hope, obviously finances are always, an issue with continuing, but I think there's something there. I think, I want to see him next year and see how much he comes along next year. It's tough that first year, especially all the tracks he's seeing with the All-Stars that he never saw before.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's been in Central PA before.
Not that I'm aware of.
And if he was, it was with ASCS.
Yeah, it would have been the year before.
And it would have been the Grove.
And Sealands Grove.
But, Grandview, Bedford.
Yeah. Lincoln. He won Lincoln.
Port Royal.
Yeah.
Seeing all these tracks. So, definitely a good year for him. Sam Haferteep, we mentioned that he lost the point lead with ASCS. Not so fast. Comes back this week, wins the fall fling at Creek County, takes a 14-point lead over Blake Hahn. Now they have a break, but...
Another break?
Oh, God. The season never ends.
Wow.
Season never ends. So, but Sam Haferteep, back on the winning side. I think he's won 9 out of 27 events.
That's a pretty good batting average.
Now, he's missed one. And I think that's why the points are as close as
he missed one, didn't qualify? Wasn't there?
I don't know if he wasn't there or missed it.
Wow.
Either way, that's kind of why this is so close.
Well, Blake Hahn's had some good runs this year, though.
He has 5 wins.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah. So ASCS, Blake Hahn coming along, and then this year I think he has a breakout year. Wins short track nationals, wins the Hockett McMillan. He's had a good year regardless of what happens the rest of the way. So. West Coast. We did not pick the King of the West Series race.
No, Joe was not happy.
I don't care.
I got an email from Joe.
He said something to me too, and I'm like, we just didn't.
We didn't know who was going to show up or how many cars. Were they going to have enough cars to run?
Well, there's that too. So, Rico Abreu gets the win at Keller Auto Speedway. It was his 3rd straight win. He was coming off sweeping the MOA weekend the week before. He wins this one. He has 4 wins in his last 6 starts. So maybe they're starting to find something. Good week to get, and good time to get hot because they're coming into the Trophy Cup.
Yeah,
this week, which we're going to talk a ton about in our final segment. We only have 4 segments this week, but Rico Abreu, he's looking good.
Yeah. No, I think obviously they had a little bit of crew chief change there a couple weeks ago,
right?
And I'm not even sure. I was told that a gentleman by the name of Dave Robinson I think it's Ryan Robinson's father, was helping him for a little while, and I don't know if he still is. But, they're getting rolling at a good time because I think the Trophy Cup race is pretty high on Rico's want list probably.
Yeah, and he hasn't won the title yet. He hasn't won the title. Cole Macedo gets his first Sprint Car Challenge Tour win. And, I was a little surprised because of Kyle. We took Hurst and Tim Kading who were fighting. You had Sean Becker there. Like the Outlaws, these races are tight now for points. The King of the West Series points are now tied. Bud Kading and DJ Neto. Which, here's the thing. Dominic Selzy's 3rd in points with KWS, is 7 points back. He has 5 wins. DJ Neto's not even led a lap and is leading the points and is tied with Bud Kading, who has 2 wins.
Wow.
Does that make any sense to you?
It tells me that Neto's been more consistent than the other guys.
It tells me there's a point system issue to me. You get points in your heats. You get points. You know what? Look, if you win 5 races, if DJ Neto does not lead a lap and wins that title, I don't want to hear any sprint car fans talk about NASCAR's point system. I don't ever want to hear anything about Matt Kenseth winning the title like he did, or Kurt Busch back in the day when he was running in 94. That's crap.
97.
97. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Sharpie.
Sharpie. Yeah, but come on, not leading a lap.
That's hard to believe. It is hard to believe that you cannot lead a lap and lead the points.
Now they got one more race yet, and back to SCCT. Cole Macedo wins, also Keller Auto Body Speedway, or Keller Auto Speedway. Sorry, both Kyle Hurst and Tim Kading, top 2 in the points, DNF'd. You and I sucked.
Yeah, and I was like watching Race Monitor, and I'm like, oh man, I'm taking a shitter. And then I see, oh, there goes Tim Kading.
Well, of course, because that's how it works.
But like I watched the highlight videos. Tim Kading went into the one lap, and it didn't turn, and he went over the bank, and he got turned and gassed it up down the back straightaway, and it didn't turn again in 3 and 4. And he said, "Okay, I'm done. I've
had enough."
Yeah.
Sean Becker finished 4th and is now only 13 points behind Kyle Hurst. I thought he was out of it.
Has he led any laps?
Okay, this is SCCT. okay, I can't answer that.
Sorry.
But now it's a 3-horse race going into Stockton in November. It's the last race for both of these organizations, KWS and SCCT, and you have great point battles.
No, it's something to definitely look forward to for those guys out there, and for us. We'll have something to talk about.
We'll have something to talk about. And the World of Outlaws, I think, is coming down to the World Finals. So I think there's plenty of interest if you're into point titles for sprint car fans. So that's going to wrap up segment 1, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum. We'll be back in segment 2. Stay tuned. Welcome back to segment 2, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum. Joining us on the phone is Caleb Helms, who I think he surprised some people this week when it was announced that he ran his last race in the Bob Hampshire Classic at Waynesfield. Caleb, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. It's our pleasure. You started racing at 10 in go-karts, and you got into a sprint car in 2008. And you've kind of been a fixture in Ohio. What led to the decision to step away?
I think it's pretty well known. I've been on the fence for a while. I kind of not been able to put whole seasons together a couple times, but just I love the sport, and I grew up in the sport. My dad and my grandpa, they both raced as well, and so I guess it's been in the blood, or it's been a curse. I'm not sure which, but I'm very thankful that I've gotten to do everything that I have gotten to do, but we've also been my family's been in excavation and construction for at least 3 generations as well, and my dad's got a company that's 22 years old now, and I've been involved with that since I was little, before I started racing, and it's just gotten to the point now where it's really hard to balance doing both. And my wife's expecting in April, so we're gonna be expecting her 4th. So we're just got a full plate and got to pick my priorities, I guess.
Well, 4 kids, yeah, that's
your plate's full.
Yeah, that's gonna be worse than racing. I mean, you're gonna. I mean, how do you deal with 4? How are you gonna deal with 4 kids?
Grace of God, for sure. And they're a lot like their mom, so that's not easy.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. She's excellent. When we first got together, it was like 2014. So yeah, we had kids right away after we got married. But 2013, she was coming with me. I didn't have anybody help me at the time, and she would come, and she's a farm girl, so she saw the drive shaft and the U-joint and that stuff, and she instantly knew what it was. It was a PTO off a tractor, right? But she would grease things and bolt check and do all that stuff. And after we had kids at the end of 2014, or we had our first, things just got a little bit harder, and she wasn't able to. It wasn't so easy.
So Caleb, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I'll keep talking.
No, your oldest kid, I think, by doing the math, is about 5. You say?
He'll be 5 in December. Yep.
Does he have, obviously pretty young, but does he have any interest in racing? Like, he obviously gets to see you do it.
Yeah, he loves it. Both my 2 oldest boys don't go to sleep without a race car in their hand. And they were asking me. He was asking me again today because it's finally hitting him a little bit more. He's like all concerned that I'm not going to be driving a race car anymore. So that's kind of tough, but he loves it.
He's concerned. You need to be concerned. He's going to be a racer soon.
That's the thing. I might be in trouble with 3 boys already. I got 3 boys, and we don't know what the 4th's going to be. But
it's a lot of quarter midgets.
God, it might be a girl.
Well, I mean, you might. It's like Ryan said. You might be buying a lot of quarter midgets.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to be hitting up Grandpa for sponsorship for sure. So,
obviously, you're a racer at heart. I mean, it's in the blood, like you said, and the sport's kind of like a drug almost. How difficult was it to make that final decision to step away from it? Man,
I can't tell you how hard it's been, and I've been emotional about it, and I've been trying to make it work, and besides the investment that my dad's had in it, that we've had in it, and the amount of time that I spent doing it and committed to trying to be good at it, it's really tough. Plus, I just love, just the thrill of racing with people, and also the awesome people you get to meet. All that stuff's special. It's tough to walk away from when it's been a part of my life for so long. But I've finally got enough reasons and enough going on that I'm finally good with it, ready to focus on my boys and my family.
What are you going to do for that adrenaline rush? You got to have a hobby or something. Work's going to be work. So you're going to need...
that's probably the difference about, honestly, that is hard to explain because I work for my dad and I work for a family business and I love what I do so much that I stay there later than I should. And so it's been part of the reason why it's been hard to find time to work on race cars and go racing, let alone spend time with my kids before they're in bed. And so I like competing and I like to be the best at whatever I'm doing. And right now that's been work, but pretty soon it's going to be, throwing the football with my boys and doing stuff like that. I'm going to try to keep them in stick and ball as long as I can before I got to get the money out. So
golf clubs, invest in golf clubs.
Yes, golf clubs, definitely.
Yeah. And if somebody asked me once in a while, I might do it, but I'm just not actively pursuing to be at the racetrack anymore. And I don't know that I can say, that I'll never be in one again. And I'm also not looking. I think I'm okay if it never happens again. So
well, that was kind of
now.
That's kind of my next thing. Do you ever see yourself getting back into it? And are you going to continue to go to the racetrack, meaning just to watch?
See, I don't see myself going there just to watch. That'd be pretty tough. And as busy as we are, there's many things that I need to do around the house and get done with the business, trying to grow the business and spending time with my kids. It's probably not going to happen that much unless we get excited about going and taking them to watch. And then the next thing's going to be probably getting go-karts if they don't leave me alone about it. So.
So Caleb, your father obviously promotes some racing in Ohio, and you guys have been, your family's been very active in Ohio racing, whether it's racing or promoting, or I think you guys even tinkered with the owning of the track or at least leasing stuff. Is your father still going to be involved in it? Like, are you guys still going to promote racing and do that kind of stuff?
I think that's the plan. That's pretty much been all him. My grandpa's been around to help us do whatever we're doing. He's been racing with me for a long time, and my grandpa promoted at Fremont a little bit and did a lot of the track work a couple years ago, and now he's helping my dad. But I think my dad's plan is to keep doing that stuff. I know he's been getting a lot of positive feedback. It's just, it's just been kind of he still hasn't got his return on his investment with, putting money into it and paying good purses and trying to get stands there and playing it out right. But I think that's still the plan. I think he wants to still be involved. He loves doing it. He's probably in a better place to be doing it than I am, and maybe getting to a better place with the company, being able to kind of focus some more time on it. So I know it's always been a dream too to get Millstream going up again, and Waynesfield's probably one of the coolest tracks in Ohio. And I mean, it's a true bull ring, and we love going racing there. So I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, Waynesfield's cool.
Well, I know I've talked to your dad a number of times, obviously back when the whole Renegade thing was possibly going on. And really, I even attribute him to kind of getting the ball rolling with that whole deal. And then Tony ended up with the All-Stars. So he's definitely devoted a lot of time, and I think he's been influential in the Ohio scene. Do you see, if your dad would ask you to help with the business side of that for a limited time, would you consider that, just being involved with something like that with your dad?
I got to do whatever he tells me to do, pretty much, with him being my boss and my dad. So, I'm sure that I would be able to be involved or help him. He kind of, I've been involved with a lot of the business development stuff and getting, systems up and running so that we can kind of grow from being a mom and pops that we started out when I was in first grade to being a full, corporate company now. But I mean, if he had some stuff going on, I'm sure he'd ask me to help.
Well, because you can come at it from a driver's perspective. I'd say, not that he couldn't, but you're more of a current driver, and I think that would almost be a good mix almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much he's got time to he's not like trying to do a full season schedule or anything right now, but I think down the road, he would like to just be able to promote premier events and hopefully get his money back on it and do something good for the sport in Ohio. I mean, he's very passionate about sprint car racing and just loves it. And just he likes to be involved with it. Where I can see myself being removed a little bit and just focusing on my family. I probably would care less if I was at the racetrack sometimes, but I'm sure he's going to rope me into. Last night at Waynesville cleaning up trash, helping him.
See,
he's the boss.
That's how it starts.
Yep, exactly.
So, you mentioned Ohio. I think Ohio's very underrated as a sprint car hotbed. I think your car counts are good. I think Ohio Speed Week is unbelievable. You've traveled a bit. You've run with the All-Stars. You've been to Central PA. How healthy is sprint car racing in Ohio right now?
I don't know if I can recall a healthier time. I mean, I feel like the number of cars that there are and the number of teams that show up at the racetrack is as much as I can ever remember there being. It's not unusual for there to be a night where there's 3 or 4 tracks racing and you've got over 80 cars in Ohio racing, and most of them are out of Ohio. So it's been very good, and I think that a lot of the tracks have been working. I mean, I'm not paying too much attention to the scene as far as who's doing what all the time, but it seems like ever since 2015 and so, I feel like the tracks have been working pretty good together for the most part. Getting their schedules synced and racing's just been really good. I mean, the racing's super tough. The tracks are awesome. It's not all the same thing other than it can be dusty at all of them sometimes, but
it's a dirt track. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's expected. Hey, Caleb, obviously you've been around sprint car racing for a long time and you've been on the owners. Obviously, you know what your father spends racing and you guys. What would be 1 or 2 of the things that you would change to maybe make sprint car racing healthier, whether it's in Ohio or nationwide?
I could get in trouble for saying this. I don't know if it's
no, you can't.
If I even understand it, but I mean, I think the tire rule would be one thing.
Yep.
And just honestly, people like to make a rule so that people run the same tire all the time, but the Outlaws actually have a pretty good deal as far as you run it for the heat race and qualifying in the heat race and the dash if you make the dash, and then you can run a different tire for the future. So you kind of get the option to use your tire up better. You don't have to have a brand new tire for every event all the time. Right. But also just, I think we're past the days probably of having different branded tires, because of just the deals that tracks make with tires and the sanctioning series and stuff. But the tire rule, I'm just a peon. I don't really know anything, but I mean, I feel like it would would be it would make it more competitive for pricing, and then you could control what you're using a little bit more. The drivers, they put more in the driver's pocket, probably, I guess is what I'm saying. So,
well,
I don't know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I can't think offhand right now, like, what else would make it that much better, but I know that a lot of tracks have been doing a good job of, trying to increase the purse as best they can. I mean, my dad put out a really good purse, and he lost some money last weekend, but it also had to deal with the weather and the time of the year and how much he was promoting it. So it's a balance for sure, but I can't think of parts-wise or equipment-wise. Everything's expensive, so it's really hard to nail down what would make things more economical. But
well, I mean, if you ask Brad Doty, it's wing angle.
Say that again.
If it's Brad Doty, he says about the wing angle
and red flag fuel stops.
Oh yeah, of course. Honestly, there is. I mean, honestly, yeah. I mean, the cars are so fast. I mean, they did take the dish out of them to try to slow them down, I guess, quite a few years ago, back in 2009 or 10. But yeah, everything is. I mean, and it's nice actually when the tracks are smooth and not so locked down that there's no passing, and when tracks are rough or heavy, that does definitely attribute to the cost.
Mm-hmm. No, I definitely think they need to slow them down. I think we could all agree, slow them down a little bit.
The racing gets better then.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, people want to see, people will say, oh, make it heavy. No, because then it'll be a freight train.
You let that dust blow off, and it'll eventually clean off, and then you get some good racing. Yep. If that you keep watering it to keep moisture in, or try to keep the dust down, you just keep the problem going. So
Agreed.
A little bit of I know about dirt. If you let it blow off, it's going to seal over a little bit. It might take rubber, but usually, if you can let the dust blow off, you're in for a good amount of passing. So.
No, I agree with you, Caleb. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Appreciate your time, and we're sorry to see you retire, but that's very understandable. And I hope you enjoy time with your family, and good luck with your fourth child.
Okay, well, I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Good talking to you.
Yep, bye bye. Welcome back to segment 3, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast. Ryan, it's been interesting already. We got our producer gave us the finger.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that.
Well, you might have deserved it. Yeah.
Well, okay.
I'm quiet. I don't say
no.
nothing.
I did say some inappropriate.
You did.
I said some things I probably shouldn't have. But it's true. I don't understand. We were talking about Chili Bowl. I don't look. I get it. It's an event. It's huge. I get it. I'm not going someplace where people have to wear masks. Are you?
I want to go there. I've never been there.
Actually,
it's actually a bucket list. It's one of my I have a few bucket list races. Knoxville was one, not racing there, just going to hang out, and I did that this year. The Chili Bowl is one of mine, but the one thing that scares me is people come home and they come home sick. Or you come home and you get sick when you get home. So
I want to say, in all fairness, it'd be a good news thing for a lot of sprint car guys are there. I mean, I don't care that it's a midget race, but
I am in training right now. The two guys I work with at work.
You're going to run a midget?
No. The two guys I work with at work, they smoke cigarettes a lot, so I'm in training.
Oh, okay.
Getting my lungs prepared.
You're prepping. Well, that's a positive, but no, the timing's bad for me. There's some things going on in Pennsylvania, and it's
really.
Well, yeah, we have EMPA. I go to that, and I have to do some of that stuff.
I thought you meant races, like actual races. I'm like, really?
No. I wouldn't go to a January race anyway in Pennsylvania if they had. No. I
struggle with the February. I scratch my head on that one.
I do as well. But it's segment 3, and you came up with a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you props for this.
Well, we couldn't have Bill do it, so
it's true. Well, this is a really good one.
Someone had to come through.
Bill can't top this one. If we're starting a team
today,
today, who would you get to own it, drive it, crew chief, engine builder, and chassis? So now, the only thing we have to, are they going to run local, pick and choose, or World of Outlaws? I say we go with pick and choose. Just big event, everything, all encompassing. What do you think?
I'd say pick the baddest team you can put together.
Okay, fair enough.
Doesn't matter where you go race. Like a Doug Wolfgang schedule.
Okay, fair enough.
Like
we got it.
Davy Brown Jr.
I remember this.
Just get
Fred
everybody you can
Fred
find.
Grenoble was around then too.
Doug Wolfgang.
That just shows how old we are.
Weichert's, yeah.
Owner. I'm going to let you go first on owner. We're just going to flip flop. Who would you get to own? This is a slam dunk for me.
It's not a slam dunk for me.
Okay. Who would you get to own this badass
I would
team?
want to own it, but we wouldn't have a whole lot.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing too. I don't think we can pick the same people. That makes it better.
Oh, like if I pick so and so, you can't pick so and so either.
That's fine.
I see. Well, that's what we need to start doing for our picks at the end of the show. That'll make it interesting.
What?
Like once you use a guy for the weekend, you can't use him
I think
again.
we might do something for next year.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Owner, boy, it's. I mean, any of the World of Outlaw owners, or I mean, there's a lot of really, really good owners. I feel like I'd slight.
Yeah.
I feel like this topic is going to slight like a lot of people.
I don't care.
But yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't.
It's not sliding. It's if you're starting a team, who do you?
Man, it's hard to.
Everybody has strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. I guess I'm going to say TSR.
Look, Tony Stewart's who I would have taken.
Yeah, I'm going to say TSR
to start a team. But I'm going to go a different direction, and this is gonna people are going to scratch their heads. I'm taking Joe
von Schultz.
And the reason the premise of this is you have the bag of money already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have the bag of money. Money's not an object. You're starting a team. I'm taking Joe von Schultz. He's in his 60s. I get it. I've talked to him a lot, so I kind of have and you've talked to him a lot. I like the way he looks at things.
Oh yeah, he definitely looks at it.
So I'm taking Joe over. Now, if you wouldn't have taken Tony Stewart, I would have taken Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart is a great pick because he's raced, he understands situations, and Tony Stewart's biggest strength is putting people in the right spots for success. Mm-hmm. And he knows his limitations and knows when to back away.
And when to step in.
To
try to motivate or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Joe, I've seen the inner workings, talked to him about it. Joe's the same way. He's almost like a coach. Mm-hmm. And that's the kind of owner I want. Driver. I'm taking Aaron Reitzel.
Okay.
It's a slam dunk. This guy's only in his, second full year of 410 sprint car racing. He has youth on his side. And you got to consider age. So Aaron Reitzel's a slam dunk. He can win anywhere, anytime.
What about Christopher Bell?
He's a NASCAR driver.
But I'm going to have this big bag of money, and I'm going to steal him from NASCAR.
Well, you keep thinking that. I don't think you're doing that. So
no, but he is.
So you're going to stick with Bell?
Yeah, we don't have to go race this team. So no, but I'm just thinking he's young.
Yes.
He adapts probably quicker than, honestly, I think he adapts probably quicker than anybody I've ever seen. Like, Larson, I thought, was really good at adapting, but I think
Bell's better than Larson.
Bell adapts and is, like, under control. Like, there's times I watch Larson and I go, holy shit, he is so fast. But it almost looks like he's on the verge of crashing. And it's the same way in NASCAR, too. Like, when he's fast, he's ready to knock the wall down, and sometimes he hits it. But he'll pull through. But, like, Bell, to me, is just, he's smooth and he's fast. He's like got everything. He can run when it's wide open. He can run when it's technical.
Who are you taking if you can't get him from NASCAR?
If I can't get him from NASCAR, I'll probably have to take, I don't know, Donnie. Donnie seems like he's won a few races. I probably have to take Donnie.
Well, yeah, I just didn't go there because of age.
It's the obvious.
I mean, Donnie obviously is the guy I would take.
Yeah.
But the age thing, I'm going with Aaron Reitzel. I think he's going to be some kryptonite to a lot of guys.
No, I agree. Aaron Reitzel is definitely one of the younger guys that is, he's on it. He's got it going on.
Who's your crew chief? You might have an advantage on me here. You could go so many directions here.
Can I take one that used to be a crew chief?
Yeah.
I think Carl Kinzer's.
Okay, no, you
Like,
can't take Carl
oh,
Kinzer.
Well,
This is easy, probably.
yeah. To me, I think Ricky Warner is so
fair.
I've talked to Ricky a lot too. Like when we were racing, like he's so into it. Like he never, like I don't even know how he has. He never turns it off. Like
Right.
I'm not even sure how he even goes home at night. What he does when he goes home. Because like
that's a good
It
choice.
just seems like he's like racing 24/7. Like every
Right.
time you talk to him, it's like he doesn't talk about like you'll talk to me. We can talk about football. We talk about my kids' games.
Yep.
But like anytime I ever talked to him, it was like
Focus.
strictly racing. Like just I was like, damn.
I'm going to take Tyler Swank, and the reason is we've talked to him. Simplistic. He's not going to reinvent the wheel. I think he can deal and talk with drivers, whether they're older, younger.
Mm-hmm.
I think he is an underrated crew chief. I think he helped get Kerry Madsen going really well. I think he's helped pull Sheldon out of that. I mean, things were bad there at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think Tyler Swank gets enough credit for how good he is. To me, I think he's a Hall of Fame crew chief.
Huh?
And I believe that. It's not just because he comes on the show. I really believe that. Plus, if I'm building this team, I think Joe works with Tyler. And I think Tyler could run the team as a manager as much as he does as a crew chief. He does it now. And I think Aaron Reitzel will just sit back and wheel the piss out of it. So
Yeah,
I like my
he
three.
would.
I like my three there. Now we're going with engine builders next.
You're first on this one.
I'm first on this one, and it's hard. Because you have a lot of, you have the Shaver who's with Shots. You have Charlie Garrett. You have Kistler. You have Ott. You have Ryder. Speedway.
Morrison.
What's that?
Brian Morrison.
And Morrison.
There's a lot of really good engine builders out there.
There's a lot of real good, I like exclusivity. I like it. And I know Joe uses Ryder, but Joe's going to have to he's going to
have to switch.
He's going to have to switch. Brian Brown uses Charlie Garrett. I'm using Charlie Garrett because no matter where Brian Brown goes, he times well. All the time.
Yeah.
And I like the exclusivity of it. I like the personal attention I would get. I like everything about that. Now he's older.
Yeah, that is the. I mean, I've talked to Charlie a lot this year. Even though I'm not racing anymore. But he's definitely an interesting guy.
I like.
He's actually a guy that we probably. I had a friend of mine tell me, you guys need to get like some of these guys on the show during the winter.
That I think
and
we're
it
going to
would be an interesting because he's close enough that he could probably come in, but he is so focused on helping his customers, which is very easy for him because he only has a handful of them.
Right.
He is so focused on their teams, and his motors are like his babies, like they're his kid, like.
And that's what I want.
Yeah, I was there when a motor came back one time when a motor was hurt, and he was like devastated. Like he was literally devastated. Yeah. And it's the personal touch.
And that's what I want.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
That was going to be my pick.
You have Capetta too, which is only with KKR. And, hey, Brad Sweet's done pretty well this year.
I'll tell you, I've never worked with Brian Morrison, but I know his stuff really runs well.
Right.
And I would say he's kind of he kind of came under the tutelage of Charlie. And I would say Brian Morrison would be one of my picks because I think his stuff time trial is really good and it races good. I think Capetta's the same way because Brad Sweet can go good in both.
Right.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of engine builders out there, but I'm the same way you are. I want if you're giving me a motor, I want to know that I am getting the best piece. I don't want. If me and you were both getting motors from the same guy, I want to make sure that I know my motor's better than yours.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of stuff just back and forth chirping into pairs. I'm sure you hear it too.
I want every advantage I can get.
Right.
Plain and simple.
And I think the advantage is special, going with somebody who's, so now you got the last one.
The chassis.
Now this.
Which, this one I think is somewhat tailored to drivers, like what they're used to.
It is.
The chassis, like the motors, have different
flex and
almost
everything
like
else.
personalities, I guess. I don't know. I would have to go. I would say I would go either Maxim or Triple X. I've worked with both, had success with both.
Which one are you taking?
If I got to take one, oh man. I know. I'll tell you what. We won the most races I ever won in 1 year was with the Triple X.
You're taking Triple X?
I think I will take. Give me 3 Triple X's and 2 Maxims, and we'll be good.
No, you got to pick one.
I did. I picked 3 of one. And
so
2
you're
of the
taking Triple X.
I think so. I think I am.
You suck. I wanted Triple X
Really?
because Reitzel was on him. Joe runs them.
Okay.
And I believe Tyler can work on anything.
Yeah.
So sorry, Triple X.
Go ahead.
I would take.
I'll go. I'll give you Triple X, and I'll take the Maxims. We'll be all right.
I think we're either or there.
Dude, I got Donnie Schatz driving.
That's true. You
I'm gonna
may
be
want to
okay.
go J&J.
I'm okay. No, not going J&J.
You know, I think
I've never ever worked on one.
here's
And they build a beautiful car. Absolutely.
look Maxim. Look at all the guys winning on Maxim.
Yeah.
Triple X. Aaron Reitzel, Logan Schuchart. I mean, you got a lot of. I think they're both good.
Oh,
I don't think either of us could go wrong.
No.
So I think it's just kind of.
I think it's easy because we get to pick whatever one we want.
Yeah.
Like it makes it easy, and there's no reason, nothing holding us back on picking whatever we want.
Right.
So that's a little easier. Sometimes relationships come into play in a lot of this
Sure.
stuff. Like if you're getting Donnie Schatz, you're probably not going to get off J&J's.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
But it's your team. You can do what
Yeah,
you want.
it's my team.
So
Donnie, you're going to have to figure out how to drive that Maxim or Triple X, whatever.
I think Donnie can figure out how to
He'll
drive
figure it
a.
out. Yeah.
I think he could drive
He'll be all right.
a school bus and win an outlaw show. So
He'll be all right.
that's going to wrap up segment 3, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum. We'll be back for our final segment. Stay tuned. Check out SprintCarUnlimited.com for sprint car news from around the country. One click away every day. The website features breaking news, results, features, rankings, a weekly podcast, and much more from the world of sprint car racing. The off-season, the news doesn't stop there. We also cover breaking news with silly season and also have news from the Australian Summer Series. Yearly subscription is $50, 6 months is $35, 1 month is $8. If you purchase a yearly subscription, you get a free t-shirt. We also have giveaways for our members, the Month of Money contest, and much more. Check out SprintCarUnlimited.com today. Welcome back to the fourth and final segment, SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum. Ryan, I'm still getting my ass kicked. Nothing's changed.
Nothing. Well, yeah, some things have changed.
The numbers of how I'm getting my ass kicked are getting changed. I'm not going to go over them. I'm pretty much, it's to the point now where I don't think I can catch in a bunch of categories, but it is what it is. And, we want to thank Golf Cart Services for sponsoring my ass beating because that's what it's been. But no,
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, of course you like it. But we're going to jump in with our picks for this week, and it's Trophy Cup at Thunderbolt Raceway. This one's going to be one of our more difficult ones to pick because we're also going to take a flip count in honor of Jovan Schultz, who gave me what he thought the number is going to be.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be.
Are you going to divulge that before we pick?
No.
Oh. Only you can know that number. Right, that's fair.
So
That's fair.
But-
That's like picking first every week.
Well, I can't help it.
Yeah.
The format is to the point where you need an abacus and a slide rule to figure it out, but we're going to try our best. They're going to run time trials, 150 points awarded to the top timer. I think it drops by 1 after that. Heat races. There's 8 heat races based on 80 cars.
Which is 10 heat races, 10 cars in a heat
10
race.
Very good
I'm on that.
mathematician. And they're inverting 6 in each. So that's
48.
Look at you. It's not.
So you can time worse than half and be on the front row of a heat.
It's what they're saying.
That's awesome.
36 points to win a heat race, which I don't understand that number. You drop by 3 each spot. Top 12 in points are inverted for the feature. The feature winner gets 100 points. Now this is Thursday and Friday for your main qualifying nights.
So it's quite obvious that you better quick time. Quick time
Just
is
time.
50 more points than the feature winner.
Makes no sense to me.
At
So
least Knoxville's like even.
yeah, it's 200, 100, 200.
No, but it's 200 for time and it's 200 to win
Right.
the feature.
Yeah.
So it's
It's 100 for a heat race.
Wow.
So
Okay.
no,
Go
I
ahead.
don't get it.
Keep going.
So you're -2 with each position down.
Mm-hmm.
On Saturday, the top 48 in points are divided into 6 heats.
It just means you invert 8.
Correct. And there's 36 points to the winner minus 3 down through. The A main, Saturday's A main, which is going to ultimately determine the champion.
Which the champion may not win the race.
Yes, correct.
Well,
Because
that's
it's
been-
all 3 days points.
Right.
They invert the top 20. You better be on it.
This definitely promotes passing.
Well, it does. The
And
only
a lot of right rear wheels.
and a lot of wings and so
Yeah.
it's a difficult race. Rico Abreu's never won this race. Jack Hodenshield won it last year in an Abreu-owned car. The 2 years prior, Shane Golobic won it.
Wow.
So other winners have been Willie Croft, Jason Myers has won it, Kyle Larson has won it. There's been some barn burners. I mean, it's an interesting format with that last night
Yeah.
because the winner of the race doesn't necessarily win.
You're pretty much racing the guys that start back with you.
Correct.
And whoever gets further front. Like, you could be racing for 7th spot, and it's going to be the best paying 7th spot you ever finished in.
Exactly.
Unless you finished Knoxville in 7th.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. A lot of invaders go out to this deal. This is a 360 race, and it gets wild. Flip count. I mean, a lot of flips. You can board it pretty easily. But some of the invaders, Paul McMahon will be in the field. Aaron Wrights will be running Boffman's car. We have Tim Schaefer and Buddy Kofoid will be running Tarleton entries.
Wee.
So you got to watch them. Freddie Raymer will be traveling out there representing PA in a Kading car. Jason Solwald. Gio Selzy and Dom will be running Roth cars. It'll be like the Malachi brothers from Happy Days or something like that. Seth Bergman will be there. Wayne Johnson, Blake Hahn. A lot of heavy hitters in this field, along with all the California guys.
Yeah.
Corey Eliason will be there. Rico Abreu, Shane Golobic, Justin Sanders will not be running the Banana. He'll be running the 4SA. So a lot of flavor there.
Man,
Good luck picking
there's
this thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of choices there. We might have to replay that so I can go through all the choices again.
Well, tough. Thursday night, I'll pick first Thursday night.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know. I might go straight across the board with my guy because...
No, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm taking Aaron Reitzel on Thursday night.
Okay. No, I'm Aaron Reitzel. Okay.
I can't let you have them all because you'll just pick them every night.
It's okay. I'm going to take Rico.
Solid. Who are you taking Friday?
I'll take Reitzel Friday.
I'm going to take Shane Golobic. He stays out of trouble better than anybody at that race.
And that's going to be, honestly, it's a key for that. I love watching races from there because the top is like fast, and it's where the men go.
Right.
And it's on the wall. Sometimes you use the wall.
Yep.
And the bottom will win the race too because that'll keep you out of trouble. It's almost like Talladega. It's almost like
you're
Talladega
right.
there.
Now, the hard part for me Saturday, I'm tempted to take Shane again. Because he's going to be in the hunt. There's no doubt about it. Good driver. And he stays out of trouble. He has a knack for doing that. But I really want to take Gio. Just because I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to take Gio Selzy to win this year's Trophy Cup.
That's who I was going to take.
No, sorry about that.
All right, then I'll have to take Reitzel. I mean, he's been good to me all year. I know he can pass cars.
No, definitely
and I think
pass
he won
cars.
an outlaw show there. Either this year or last year.
I think he won in Paris this year.
It don't matter. He's going to win there. I picked him.
Cool,
he's going to
'cause
win.
you
I
picked
picked
him.
him. He's going to win.
All right.
I see a clean sweep on my horizon there.
No, of course you do. World of Outlaws. Not often that we don't pick the World of Outlaws first.
No.
Because...
I think one thing we forgot, though, about Trophy Cup, they donate a lot
Make-A-Wish
of money.
Foundation,
Yes, they
yeah.
donate a pile of money from this race. So kudos to that whole deal.
They have a spaghetti dinner.
Oh,
That's why Dom goes.
$4 meatballs, right?
No, I don't think it's $4 meatballs. That's why Dom goes. And taco night. I think they have tacos one night or something.
Wow, it's like a smorgasbord.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I'd love to go to the race, but I wasn't granted a credential, believe it or not.
I remember last year something about that.
Oh, I'm pissed.
Yeah, I remember.
So, don't really understand it, but hey, whatever. World of Outlaws, Lakeside Speedway, and Lake Ozark for this week for the World of Outlaws. Jason Johnson Classic is Lake Ozark. Obviously, the Jason Johnson Classic is going to be a very special event on the schedule. Jason's such a likable guy, good racer. And we have a lot of storylines going into the weekend. At the top of the list, hey, it's point battle. And Brad
shocker.
Sweets avoided some of the things that have plagued Donnie. Motor problems 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And then last week, Hopstock being involved in two things.
Crashes at one. Yeah, in one race.
Does Brad have one in him that doesn't go his way? Darren Pittman in 2013 finished every race. All I'm saying is this has happened before. KKR's won before by just being there at the every race.
And I bet if you look at Donnie's record on all the years he won the points, I bet he finished every race.
Yeah.
There was a stretch there where he
won by
finish.
200-300 points.
Yeah, but he still finished every race.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to beat Donnie,
you got to do it
can't give
that
one
way.
single night away.
No.
It's that tough to beat him. You can't give one single night away. So
I agree.
yeah.
So
I guess it's
you
my
pick Lakeside Speedway first.
Lakeside. Big or little?
It's 20.
Okay, I'm going with Donnie. Do you like that?
Did it matter if it was big or little? Lakeside. I think Kansas City, I think. It's tough.
Brown. Home
No.
track.
I'm
No.
not going there. I'm not going there.
He's got your motors, remember?
I know he does have my motors. I'm going to take... Boy, David Gravel was bad at Hopstock, which
Yeah, but he was in a wreck too.
I know, but that he wasn't good. He didn't time well either.
No.
I think this weekend it's prime. I'm going to take David Gravel. And then Lake Ozark, I'm going to take Gravel again. I'm going to take Gravel again. It's Jason Johnson's race.
I'll
He's
take
not gonna...
shots. I know.
So we got a sweep.
I wanted to take Gravel there just because I think
Yeah, they're going to be so yoked to win
Yeah.
that race. Yeah. So, granted, emotion doesn't always win races.
No, but
there's
something to be said for it.
Yeah, it gets you. It's like a football game. Mm-hmm. Emotion gets you through the first quarter.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Port Royal Speedway, open wheel madness. Only thing on the docket in Central PA this week. Kind of a light week, really everywhere. We're winding down, heading towards the World Finals, which there's still plenty of tickets left for the World Finals at Dirt Track at Charlotte. Go to their website. It's a great event. So
it is. If you're a racing junkie,
you get enough of it.
Oh my God.
Modifieds, late models.
I mean, they start
sprint cars, and they all show up. The good guys show up.
Yeah, they start in the daylight and they finish midnight.
Usually, though, it's pretty good. The first night's all time trials and modified heat races. They get done at a pretty good time.
The first night probably takes the longest.
Yeah,
honestly.
it does.
Yeah,
Because you have
probably
two
takes the
sets.
longest. But I mean, if you are any sort of race fan, the other cool thing about being down there is I always went to NASCAR shops. There's a bunch of things to see in the Charlotte area.
And the food and always places.
There's always places.
It's always good to be someplace different like that.
If you're a race fan and you haven't been to this weekend, that Charlotte weekend, I'd say you need to check it out.
Absolutely, but we'll be at Port Royal this weekend. Got a bunch of races leading up. Open wheel madness, sprints, 360s, 305s. Oh my, we have it all. Probably have 100 cars in the pit area. I could see it or close to it.
Yeah.
The big thing is who shows up this week. Freddie Raymer's not going to be there.
No.
Brian Monteith will not be there. He'll be back at BAPS for the Sprint Showdown, which is November 16th. So
Lance gonna be there? I can't believe
I can't believe Lance will be there.
No, I bet he's there.
You think?
I do.
Well, good. You take him since we're gonna pick.
I think they'll be there. because I think they realize
They have outlaw races next week.
Yeah, I mean this is a tune-up race.
It is a tune-up
The one
for
thing that
410.
concerns me a little bit about this race, not kind of being the same as the outlaw race, is it starts really early.
Yeah, I
I mean,
think
it starts at
4
4
o'clock.
o'clock.
Yeah.
They're gonna have cars on the track. I think warm-up starts at 3:30.
Whew.
She's gonna be a slicky.
That's all right. That's good for Port Royal.
Oh yeah, no,
They're the
I
best.
don't have any. I have no doubt that the track's gonna hold up.
They're
don't have to
better
worry
that
about
way
that.
for them.
My concern is at that time it's just Port Royal's not dusty at all, but it's very hard to see when it is daylight there, like the Labor Day Classic going down into turn 1 on the first lap. I was like, where'd they all get to? It has something to do.
disappeared.
No, it has something to do with the dust and the sun. It doesn't. You don't see it in the night
Okay.
in the lights, but it'll be exciting. It's one of my favorite shows. I love all wing shows.
Look at you being an elitist. I like
I
that.
do.
I
I
like
think they
that.
should. I think more tracks should catch on to this little gem here. And your
I
car
think that's
count-
like a segment 3 down the road. I
yeah,
think.
your car
So,
count will be high.
We'll
It'll be
see.
interesting to see what the three. I mean, we just had nearly 40 cars.
40 cars at BAPS list.
So let's see what the 360 car count is this week too.
I'm
be
going to
interesting.
say, by the way, we didn't do a flip comp for Trophy Cup.
Oh shit!
I'm going to say 33.
33 for Jeremy.
Yep.
27.
Okay. All right. We'll see how that goes. As far as Port Royal, who I'm taking to win, I'm going to take Danny Dietrich.
That's funny because I got the first pick.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. Because you pick gravel.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
But I'll tell you what, you can have Dietrich. I know you're behind.
Well, yeah, you're 230
You're way behind.
positions ahead of me.
You're way behind. You can have the first pick.
Oh, I know who
Tell
you're
you what,
taking.
you can just have the first pick across the board next week. Like,
Oh, now he's getting cocky. I like it.
well, you keep trying to take the first pick.
Okay. Go ahead.
It's probably been 6 or 7 months since I got the pick first.
Okay. But
Maybe 9. I'll take the 69K.
get a second pick just in case he doesn't show up.
39M.
Ooh, Macri. Nice
Been
pick.
really fast.
I'm going to take
There.
Danny Dietrich.
Yeah, you already said that.
All right.
You said that first, remember?
My second pick is
He'll be there. He'll be there. You don't need a second pick. He'll be
Okay.
there. But who's your second pick?
Logan Wagner.
Oh, that's a good pick.
So that's going to wrap up SprintCarUnlimited.com podcast presented by Wicked Energy Gum. Stay tuned to SprintCarUnlimited.com all week for your sprint car needs. We'll have coverage from across the country. We'll be back next week. Stay tuned.